One of the entrances to hell. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. Yesterday, I went to one of the gates of hell. Welcome to hell! There aren't that many on Earth, but there is one in Southern California. Now, the place that I went to has a lot of history and lore behind it, including Aleister Crowley, the leader of JPL, and a dam that was built over a Native American site. One of the first dams of its kind. So I'm going to explain a little about what happened yesterday and what I did because it's a fun story. Last week I was out and I wanted to go to a bookstore called Lost Books, which is in Montrose, California, very close to La Cañada, Flint Ridge. And my daughter works in La Cañada, so I wrote to her and I was like, hey, don't you work in La Cañada? Because I think I'm going over there and, I just want to know a little about it. She's like, yeah, I'm at work right now, but I'm on lunch. If you had written just a little bit earlier, we could have eaten lunch. So we decided to go on her day off. And so as I had a week, I started planning some other things to do besides the bookstore. One of the reasons I wanted to go to this bookstore is it's got a very unique layout. The aisles are all windy and curvy, and so you kind of like are going through a maze as you go through it. It's decorated with plants, moss, and there are birds and fish throughout the store. So you're kind of getting like a tropical rainforest type feel when you're in that store, and it's really nice. So I started researching anything interesting in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and I came across the Devil's Gate Dam. I watched a YouTube video about how to get to it and what's interesting about it, and it looked really fun and crazy, and so I decided to go. Now, I was worried because my daughter's pregnant, and of course I didn't want her to do anything too strenuous. So we actually had to park and walk, which I didn't find out in the video. So we parked, and it was about a 15 to 20 minute walk, and you walk until you get to the dam, which is a bridge. Now, the bridge isn't used anymore. There's a highway or freeway and a street right next to it. You could see it in pictures. And so this bridge isn't used anymore, but it's part of a park and you're allowed to walk the trail and go over the bridge. But what you aren't allowed to do is you're not allowed to go to the part where I went. So they've got it chained off and there's a fence, but all I did was I went to the end of the fence and I went around. It was actually a little bit tricky because I slipped and I had to grab the fence and my daughter was like, but it was fine. Then when I got to the actual, you'll see there's some video, my daughter took video of me going down all these stairs. And once you get to the bottom, and it curves around, but once you get to the bottom of that, there are 3 ladders that are like steel ladders that are in the face of the cliff. I knew about those, but I was interested to see the actual Devil's Gate. And so I went down all of those in steps. It was very interesting because I've never done something like that before. And I went all the way down to the bottom, and then there's a small stagnant pool of water. Then there's a tunnel, just a man-made tunnel with a gate in front of it. But everybody in the videos, they show that all you have to do is you kind of squeeze in along the side, and then you walk to the end of the tunnel. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some footage of that. Now, what was really interesting about this tunnel was I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. So I was using my phone and I was filming it. It was very awkward. I should have actually brought my stabilizer. And I was using my phone video image to actually walk through the tunnel because when I was filming, it was bright. I could not see the graffiti on the wall, but I could see it through my phone. And so, of course, it was a little bit awkward because I wasn't watching where I was going. I was looking through the screen, and you're going to see that in the video. And then when you get all the way to the end of the tunnel, it's not that far, actually. There are like 2 doors. They're not really doors, but there's a divided partition with like 2 sections. And on one side, it says, "Welcome to Hell," although unfortunately someone kind of spray painted over it. And then on the other side, there's still time, you're safe. So they let you make a decision which direction you want to go to. Do you either want to continue and go into hell like Dante? Or do you want to just go ahead, go to the heavenly side and be saved? It was all a lot of fun, but what I didn't count on is that going up the cliff with the three ladders. It was either the heat or my age or my laziness, but that was difficult. I got to the top and my legs were shaking. And in fact, even a couple of my muscles are a little bit sore. I don't know, just climbing straight up the cliff on that ladder was a little bit difficult for me. I think it was mostly the heat. It was getting really hot. And then I had a 20-minute walk back to the car with my daughter. She waited up at the top. And the whole thing didn't take long because I did it really fast because I knew my daughter was waiting. I think the whole trip total took about an hour. Walking there, going down, exploring, going back up, and then walking back to the car. But it was a lot of fun. It was scary, spooky fun. And when I showed my husband the footage, he was like, "What did you do that for? What? That's so dangerous." Oh, and by the way, when I was in the tunnel, there were like Tagger's spray paint cans everywhere. People just go in there and tag that up and I guess have fun. And some of the pictures along the way were kind of creepy. In fact, I'm going to use one for the thumbnail. So then, actually the worst part of this whole thing was walking back to the car because it was hotter because it was around 12. And so 12:30 was like the peak heat of the day. And walking back to the car, I was, tired. I was hot, and I knew that when I got to the car, there was some water. So I was like dumb because I didn't bring any water. Man, I couldn't wait to get the AC on in the car because I was just like really hot. And it wasn't just me; my daughter was really hot too, and she hadn't gone down. So it was a pretty hot day in Los Angeles. After that, we drove to the bookstore, which again was Lost Books in Montrose. The bookstore was really neat. I did find some really nice books. I'm going to show them off in a live stream tomorrow with Doug Anderson, the Auditory Vinyl. I did get some interesting things. My daughter was a trooper because, she was with me the entire time, even though she doesn't like to look through. They even had albums, so I bought some albums. I bought some books. But it was really good because I kept going up to her and saying, look, of these three, which one should I keep? Which one's the best? Should I get this one? She helped me pick the stuff, and I actually ended up putting a bunch back to save money, and I'm glad she was there because, besides the company, because she was helping me pick the best ones for me. She helped me curate my little collection. And then after that, we went right across the street to a pho place, but they didn't have any vegan pho, so we actually left. We went down the street. And then we had a really nice lunch in a sushi place. It was really, really nice. By the time I got back home, I was ready to kind of just sit down and relax. I was going to make this video yesterday, but I was so lazy after doing my 1 hour hike, which was kind of nothing. But it was a lot of fun. I wouldn't call it a hike, more of like just kind of a curiosity place to visit with a little bit of history and fun in it. And yeah, it was a really interesting day. So like I said, if you would like to see what I purchased at the Lost Books, I have to be careful because there's also a Lost Bookstore or Lost Bookshop, which is in downtown Los Angeles. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure that you either watch the live stream or check it after it's already posted. And I want to ask you, don't forget to click like, and I want to thank all of you for the support. In the comments, let me know, would you take an hour out of your day to go visit this really weird and creepy and potentially dangerous place?